Today's guest is an Amazon FBA operator who built income systems that do not depend on his time.
I haven't even worked hardly more than 5 hours a month on that business.
While most people trade time for money, he focuses on leverage.
Products just keep selling. I call a supplier, make a shipping plan, restock my inventory.
For years, he rejected the traditional path and questioned the systems most people blindly follow.
I realized soon that I did not want to have a full-time career. I want to create my own path. I want to create my own freedom.
Instead of chasing trends, he studied how small numbers scale into real income.
5 sales a day, $20 profit, 30 days in a month, you made $3,000 in profit.
And how sometimes just one product changes everything.
That kit alone make almost 15K in profits on its own per month.
Today, he's gonna break down how income can keep flowing even when you step away.
I literally didn't have a phone for 6 weeks, and I made more money than they paid me to be on the show.
Welcome to the conversation where we uncover real paths that everyday people can use to escape the 9-to-5 and build a life of freedom. Today, we have Luke Weschelberger.
You got it.
Luke Weschelberger currently runs an Amazon FBA company. He sells many products, and he also teaches people how to do it as well. Luke, welcome to the conversation.
Thanks, man. Happy to be here.
Why don't you start off just telling us a little bit of your story? How did you get into this?
Man, honestly, it's kind of hard breaking into entrepreneurship for anybody out there. There's a lot of fear, doubts, uncertainty that goes into that. And actually growing up, we talked before the podcast, like I did a lot of skateboarding growing up. I'm not sure if a lot of you guys have delved into that in your life, but it kind of got me into a little more of that risk taker personality a little bit. So I was more apt to starting an online business, doing something that's going against the grain per se. Even though I graduated university, tried really hard in school, I was set up to be like a broadcast news journalist. And I realized soon that I did not want to have a full-time career because I would have, number one, I'm working for a boss telling me what to do, when to do it. I wouldn't be able to live my own life. And as a skateboarder, bringing back to that analogy, I want to create my own path. I want to create my own freedom. So actually, I broke my leg skateboarding, and it forced me to lay in bed for 2 months before I basically while I was in an internship at Como 4 News in Seattle, Washington. And that gave me the time to just research ways to make money online. And before I knew it, I stumbled upon Amazon FBA. There were other business models I discovered, affiliate marketing, social media marketing, but that was always building someone else's product where I would only get a fraction of the profit. So I thought maybe if I build my own product, I get more profit. And using fulfillment by Amazon, which is what FBA stands for, I can actually utilize Amazon's millions of customers as traffic. So I'm not driving external traffic to my product. And I'm using Amazon's warehouses so that Amazon ships the products to the customers. Sure, we'll dive into that later. When I saw that business model and I found a software that shows me how much money each of the products is making, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's got 20 reviews and he's making $60,000 a month with 20 reviews on a easy product that I can go buy overseas for a fraction of the price. From that, I was hooked. And actually within 6 months of starting the business, I fully quit my job and went full-time entrepreneur. Something my dad really didn't like. He was a full-time doctor, chiropractor, whatever you want to call it at the time. He still is. And he's like, you need to do what we set you up for in college, Luke. So we'll touch on a little more of that later, but that's kind of the get-go of how I got into it.
And really important question, because you brought this up. Do you believe there's a direct correlation between how likely someone is to become an entrepreneur and whether or not they used to skateboard? Because I did used to skateboard, and so now I am the risk-taking entrepreneur.
Honestly, like some people, you need risk tolerance. If you just go by the grain all the time, you're never going to really break free. And you understand, like, you've probably heard of what the matrix is. People are caught into this matrix. You go to school, university. I had teachers that were trying to literally changed my whole mindset on a lot of things in a way that I would push me out into society as just being another cog in the wheel of society. And it was really weird. You just you don't necessarily need to be a skater. But if you have an internal inkling inside you that your soul is telling you, hey, this is not the path that's going to get me free time where I can start traveling the world, where we're at now, Medellin, Colombia, you're not really able to break free and do your own thing if you're just going to be a cog in the wheel. So you just have to know inside deep down that something needs to change. And then it comes down to you to decide which business model, which avenue, whatever you want to dive into.
So when they say entrepreneurs are always grinding, they don't mean on a skateboard.
I stay grinding. I'm 32 years old. I have my board in my room. And actually, I was telling Ben, Tony Hawk, everyone knows who Tony Hawk is. He's here right now in Medellin, Colombia, actually skating this skate park. I'm probably going to go skate after this.
That's wild.
I don't kickflip 13 stairs anymore like I used to, but
Just the 10 step.
just the 10 stair. I still cruise around, and it's important to get out there. It allows me to get creative, allows me to just unplug if I had a stressful day, and there's nothing more to it than that. I mean, the gym helps you a lot with it, but skateboarding's my form of cardio. So
Yeah, you're doing Amazon FBA, and that started because you broke your leg and you were in bed, correct?
exactly.
Well, did you try anything else before this, or is this the first business model that you've tried?
So actually, that's a good question because I did, like I said, find other business models before I got into this. So affiliate marketing, social media marketing. I took Ty Lopez's like SMMA, social media marketing agency course, where you basically can find plastic surgeons, whatever, high net worth companies and doctors that maybe don't have a lot of Google reviews or Yelp reviews, whatever, or their Instagram is lacking. This was years ago, and it was really easy to grow Instagrams back then just by simply doing hashtags, which isn't a really great strategy now. Now I'm using Sora 2 and building crazy AI videos that get 11 million views and make half of my following in 5 days, basically. So there's different ways to do it now. In the past, I would go to companies and say, hey, look, you don't have much of an Instagram platform. We can easily build you content around what you're doing. I can come in, film some shots, and build you a platform here. So I was getting a few $1,000s a month income from that. But again, it was
Really?
building someone else's income. And actually, my barber, I built her Instagram from 0 followers to 12,000 followers or something, which not too much, but in the local area of our city, it was a pretty...
How old were you this time?
20... I graduated college at like 23. I did 1 year abroad and then came home. So I was like 23, 24.
And were you doing serving at this time?
So right after college, in between starting that news broadcast internship, I was also part-time serving at Joey Bellevue. It's a restaurant that maybe people know about. It's from Canada. It's a pretty high-end restaurant where all the Seahawk players, Mariner baseball players would come dine there. I was chosen out of, there was only 2 male servers in the place, and it was just full of like hot girls, basically, which is pretty cool. I ended up finding my girlfriend there, which we stayed together for 6 years. Maybe touch on it later. We ended up being on Temptation Island, some crazy TV show, reality show that they hit me up on Instagram for.
Oh, you were trying other business models while you were serving, trying to figure out what would stick for you?
Yeah, because it was do or die. It was, and you have to kind of be cornered in a wall like we are right here, right now. Basically, back against the wall. I either sign up my life for 40 years of a career, or it's, take this chance to find something that's going to allow me to be my own boss. So I was diving in like, what is going to work for me? And luckily, breaking that leg while I was serving in the restaurant, took time out from the restaurant, the internship, put that on hold, laid in bed, grinded through YouTube. Every video I could watch in a day. It's like I couldn't do anything but see how to make money online. So different business models. Amazon FBA came after discovering social media marketing and affiliate marketing.
Okay, and what made this one stick?
Honestly, like I mentioned, building your own product, keeping all the profit, not having to build someone else's business, and the scalability and the amount of you learn the process one time and then you can rinse and repeat it with other products down the road. You can build a brand in fitness and literally sell the brand for a huge lump sum after you build 5 products that are doing well.
That was huge in 2021, by the way.
Yeah, Flippa, Empire Flippers, different websites you could list and sell your product individually or a brand for 3 to 4 whatever X.
It's actually a really good point.
Annual revenue. So that not only builds you an asset and equity with every new product you're building, but it's also building you stable cash flow. It's not like we're putting money into crypto and hoping it goes up or down. We have control over the products we're building. We have a physical, tangible item that will sell no matter what. And we'll touch on it later about profitability, but I don't get into products unless I can cut my price in half and still easily break even. So that means all my competitors, I'm half the price of theirs. Worst case scenario, I can at least break even with the test order of 100 or 200 units I start with.
Have you ever actually successfully sold one of your brands, one of your businesses?
Honestly, there's a lot of friends that have done that. I just have continually kept selling my brand. I have some products I've been
You
selling.
haven't tried to sell the business, you just keep cash flowing it?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, some products selling as long as 6 years, pretty much.
Wow. So I want to talk about earnings. This is one of the things that people care the most about, which is how much money can I realistically make doing this, and how can I compare this to other things that could earn me X, Y, Z, or a job even. And so is this currently your primary source of income? Are you still doing this today?
Yeah. Great question. And we can even touch on the timeline of how long it takes, because it's not like a
Well,
get rich quick overnight type thing. But as far as profitability goes, you really have to, you can make it or break it. It just depends on the product you choose. So my first 2 products basically made money, but not a significant amount. So I used what I learned on those test orders, which my first product, I paid $500 for 100 units of a $5 product that I sold for 20 bucks. After Amazon fees, everything, I made $8 profit per sale. You can't get rich unless you're selling 1,000 units a month or something, like tons of units per month. So I just took the philosophy of, I'm putting in the same amount of work for each product. Why don't I just sell a higher priced item? So let's get into items that are selling around $100 or $200 so I can make $50 or $100 on average profit per sale after, I'm aiming for 50% profit margins on every unit sold. In the beginning, we launch, I start a little more of a break even. I create a bundle to stand out, differentiate myself, and it's a no-brainer offer for the customers when they see, hey, it's a way less expensive than everyone else. It's basically the same product I want, and it comes with this complimentary item I wanted to buy anyway. So as far as, my earnings, we'll touch on that in a second, but it's also important to talk about, I've literally coached I'm doing this like 8 years. Didn't start coaching until 6 years ago, and I've helped over like 1,200, 1,400 people doing this. One of the biggest skeptics was my own dad. So this is a good kind of idea for a lot of people out there, just to show you how much time it took as well, because he has a full-time job, 9 a.m. till 7 p.m. he gets home every night. He built his online Amazon business in a matter of a month and a half, had his first product in Amazon, and he started cash flowing $3,500 in profit within his first 3 months of launching. Fitness tracker watches, an actual competitive market. So $3,500, like on the low end, selling a product. Me, as far as what I'm doing right now, like this, I let my business run basically passively. And I was telling Ben, I haven't even worked hardly more than 5 hours a month on that business specifically in like 3 years. The products just keep selling. I call a supplier, make a shipping plan, restock my inventory. In the beginning, it takes time to get those products launched and ranked. But I do anywhere between 20 to 30K profit per month with Amazon. And then my other businesses are going to be around affiliate marketing and consulting and stuff as well. So
great. And so I have to ask, because in the space of make money online and people who are doing coaching, if you are so successful with making money with Amazon, why bother having a course? Why bother doing coaching?
yeah, that's a great question a lot of people ask. I got into making news broadcast videos. I always kind of wanted to be on camera. I made my first YouTube video doing a course review of someone else's course that I took. Overnight, I made 2 sales in affiliate commissions of that guy's course on my first YouTube video ever. I stuck with YouTube, just literally promoted the course and talked about, here's what I'm doing with my business. If you want to learn, here's how it's done. I love to put myself out there. Over time, people said, Luke, your videos are getting really good. You should make your own course. And having the background in broadcast news journalism, I was all about clear, concise videos. A lot of other courses out there weren't that high quality. So this was something that helped me stick with it. And then seeing people get successful, I'm like, dang, this is kind of actually a fulfilling thing that is like, I've made a lot of money with trading, stocks, crypto and stuff, and it's a different type of money you earn when you just press a button, don't do anything, and you made a bunch of money. it kind of I want that feeling. I like the soul of helping, teaching, getting the information out there. And to be frank, there's so many products that I literally just can't do them all. And there's like infinite products, and then there's infinite bundles you can create within a same product niche. So I've even given some of my students some of the best products that I'm doing and just did a different variation or product just so that they could like start crushing it in a very short amount of time.
I will vouch for the idea of making content, opening doors that you could never have foreseen. This is how I've gotten in touch with a lot of people. And I met him because he put out a video that my friend saw, sent it to me. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, I'd love to talk to this guy. And so just by making content, just by being proactive, you cannot foresee what's going to happen, who you're going to meet, what doors will open. And so the creating content side of coaching with that, obviously you want to be on the news, makes sense. And also I do enjoy the idea of giving back and doing things that feel fulfilling. And I have said before that people who are successful want to give back. You're doing them a favor by reaching out to them and asking them for help, because if they can actually do something that helps you, they get a benefit out of it and they enjoy it. So I can definitely second that.
And not only that, like I make money from it as well. I'm not just hiding from the fact that, okay, I'm just doing this altruistically. I make money from it. It helps me. I help them. It's, you
are also, I will say, fairly transparent about your earnings. And a lot of people, I mean, you can fake things like that, but you are constantly posting, here's like my last 30 days, here's a screenshot from Amazon, here's my P&L. And I diligenced him before I talked to him. I looked at all of his content and I saw like this guy does post his actual earnings.
Profit reports.
Yeah. And
YouTube channel.
You do profit reports.
Yeah, I have full videos where I literally break down this month. I haven't been making them in quite some time. Like I said, I took 3 years off. I've been traveling to over 35 countries. That was the whole point of building Amazon, so I could travel, be free. I don't have a team of people. It's literally just me at this point.
You're a solopreneur.
Solopreneur for 8 years. That was the goal. Traveled, let my Amazon business run basically automatically. That was the goal. So I stopped making a bunch of YouTube videos. I made travel videos because that's what I was into at the time. And now I'm getting back to just really getting into more Amazon videos because I'm like, I'm not building anymore. That's what we were talking about at lunch. Like, I need to get back to feeling that sense of accomplishment, building, traveling and going on dates with amazing foreign women. Like, it's great, but it's like there's more to life and I just need to be building. Otherwise, I just don't feel accomplished.
So you've been doing this for 8 years?
Yeah.
You've never sold a brand. How many different products are you currently running right now to make up that 30K profit? Which I believe a portion of that is affiliate, and a portion of that is also coaching.
Yeah, honestly, you'll be shocked to hear it that out of 8 years on Amazon, I've literally only ever launched maybe like under 30 products.
Really?
And I'm only, to make up the money I'm making right now, I have a shark party decoration kit that I created a cool bundle around. It cost me $9.12 with shipping into Amazon. I sell for $59.99. That kit alone makes almost $15K in profit on its own per month. And that's listing up and selling for over 6 years. It's a party kit. People use it once, throw it away, no refunds, low liability. It's made out of paper. People throw it away after they use it. And you can create infinite bundles, and there's infinite party kit niches as well. There's pirate theme, construction theme, Medellin, Colombia theme, like any type of theme. So that's why I say I'm not shying away from saying, hey, this mermaid party kit theme is actually crushing it based on the software I'm seeing. The numbers per month are looking really good. Give an idea to a student and they create a cool bundle around that niche and they do really well. So one product does 15K a month, and then I have 3 more I'm launching that I'm trying to push myself to my goal is like 6 figures per month in profit. And
is that why you're launching? Because you want to hit a higher income than you currently have?
Yes. And I want to get to that threshold, and that's really the goal now. So the other products I sold were around the beauty niche, light therapy, LED light therapy. Get the unit for $50, sell for $119, make $60 profit per sale. So that alone was making me, I had videos on YouTube, $1,000 per day in profit. However, Amazon flagged the product, shut it down, said, this is an FDA required product. You need to show us certifications. This was years ago when I sold that. And I've just now found suppliers for that product that are FDA certified, FDA cleared. So now I'm getting my new listings in totally professionally done. And I should easily be pushing 6 figs a month with 2 of the light therapy mask listings and then another beauty product called an IPL, an intense pulse light that you can shine on like your armpits for women or bikini line, and it makes your hair not grow back for like 6 months so you don't have to shave.
I do like that you are also transparent about the products that you sell. A lot of people, especially in the dropshipping space in areas that the product you get from a supplier and it's not proprietary, a lot of people hide that, or they will do some even schemier things where they get students and the students do product research and they steal the students' actual products. That's a real thing, actually.
I do the opposite where I tell you what I'm doing, because honestly, I can give things to people on a silver platter and 99 out of 100 people like won't even take up what I'm doing. It's just like laziness or whatever.
That is an unfortunate reality.
It is sad. It is sad. That's why you need, like, as a skater, for me, like being able to huck yourself down a stair set or go grind a rail. It takes that something in your brain to allow you to get over that initial fear. And once you do it one time, you're like, okay, it's not that hard. I can keep going back and doing it. So, yeah.
So I do want to dive in and get like a final range of earnings that I could put on my website. But before I do, I want to make sure that we're abundantly clear and transparent about what is in a P&L for one of these things. So you have your revenue, and that's what someone pays you for it. And then you have the actual cost of goods. And is that the 50% margin where you want at least?
Yeah. So the revenue on Amazon, like I'm talking about, maybe I'm doing $50K a month on Amazon, then my profit would be around $25K. Like 44% profit margin on my revenue is like the exact number of, like, the exact percent.
Gross profit, meaning the cost of goods.
That's after the advertising. That's after Amazon fees. That's my product. That's in my spreadsheets on my YouTube videos. That's profit after everything. I factor
over 40%,
44%.
Okay, and I mean,
I can show.
I have to ask.
After this, I'm getting 20 to 40x return on my ad spend too.
Yeah, I saw a post about that. So there's a couple things that you're saying that do sound very, like, unbelievable. So ROI on ad spend, that ROAS is massive, and the 44% margin. And so would you be willing to share kind of that P&L if people do ask one day and say, hey, what is the breakdown of costs? Because there's FBA fees, there's refunds, there's chargebacks, there's all the softwares that you use, there's the advertising costs, that all chips away. And so if you have 50%, 55% product margins, you have to be able to factor in, okay, am I prepared to spend the rest of the expenses that it takes to get a product to where it needs to be to succeed and still have profitability? You've done that successfully and you're willing to share that.
Yes. So number one, you really have to just look at the cost you're getting the item for and what it's selling for on Amazon. Like I said, my party kit, for instance, I get it for $9. Amazon fees are about $12. So we're all in $21. We're selling at $60. Okay. That's $39 profit, gross profit. Now we're subtracting our monthly refunds, which literally I'll sell 500 units of a party kit in a month or something, 3 to 500 units a month. And then there's literally like 10 refunds. Okay. And each refund I'm counting in as minus how much I bought the product for. And then I'm also subtracting my ad spend, which I'm focusing on organic rank for my product. I have strategies and ways to get ranked to the first page on Amazon, which is highly important. When someone types in, Shark party supplies, my item is basically up there at the top position organically. So it's got the Amazon Choice badge. It says overall best pick kind of thing. Helps with conversions a lot. Also, the amount of time it's been there has allowed me to gain a lot of reviews and more ranking for many keywords. It's not just page 1 for Shark party supplies. It's party decoration, Shark party decorations. It's 3-year-old. Many keywords we're starting to show up for. So then I'll subtract my ad spend, which is actually very small. For every $100, I might spend $200 on ads per month, which is extremely low. And then 20x return on that. So like, it's not a crazy amount. It might be 4,000 earned on 200 in spend, but that's just supplemental income from the ads. So And if I try and, a question you might say is, why don't you just scale up the ads? I've tried to do that and spend more money on my ads, and I just get the same conversions. So my cost per clicks on my ads right now is like 6 cents and 7 cents. And that's how I'm able to get like tons of clicks for a very low amount of cost. And then each sale I make, maybe I spend $1 to make a $60 sale. So you can see how the higher priced items, you could spend $5 to get a sale of maybe one of my $100 or $200 items, and it hardly even factors into anything.
So we talked about how much you're making. You're taking on about 30,000 of that. What is it, like 25,000 from Amazon right now?
Yeah.
You've built this over 8 years, but you're working fairly passively at this point. If I'm just the average person and I'm taking, wow, look at that beautiful bird.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Hey, buddy. I hope you guys can hear that.
He wants to take his course. Sign me up.
We're filming here. We got our little buddy joining in right now.
It is so funny. Oh, goodbye. So where we were was, if I'm the average person, I want to do Amazon FBA. I'm part of the 1% that actually does the steps necessary, but not part of the 0.1% that's an overperformer. What is something realistically that someone should anticipate to earn from doing this?
3 to 6 months, you got to factor in, okay, for me, okay, let's say I bought an Amazon course, went through it, took me a week. I found my product I wanted to do within 2 weeks. Week 4, I'm talking to my suppliers, negotiating deals, practicing that. That might take 1 to 2 weeks. We're in 5 weeks now. Then you purchase the product. It could take 7 days if you airship. So you can get a product in within a month and a half. And that's the fastest I've seen most people do it after just starting. And that's how long it took me, a month and a half. Normally you get a product in.
And I'm sorry, just to clarify, the month and a half, is that after you first bought the course, after you first placed
buying
the order?
The course.
Buying the course. So like day one, made the decision, month and a half, you got the inventory.
Got the inventory in, and I made a sale, which is also why I stuck with it, the first day I ever got my first product in.
Is that normal?
Normally when I'm helping students now, we have a launch set up, so they are getting sales the first day. But for me, it was a random organic customer that somehow bought my neodymium magnets, these really weird, strong magnets. I talk a lot about those on my channel, but normally you got life getting in the way, you got a full-time job, whatever. Like even with my dad and full-time job, like we should be able to have a product in Amazon within 3 months. That will also factor in the 1 month for C shipping, because maybe you start with 100 units to test a product. Maybe it's a $10 product. You buy 100 units, it's only $1,000 to like test a product and actually start building a scalable business that could straight up change your life, basically. So you want to airship 20% of your units in, so you get some units to play with, start getting reviews, launch and rank them. By the time those are sold out, you already have reviews and stuff, and then you paid a lot less for your C shipment, which is then going to arrive with your other 80 units, let's say, and then now you have your listing already kind of ranked, and you paid a lot less for the shipping. You don't need to airship all your units in, otherwise you just kind of wasted extra money on shipping, and then you don't need to C ship everything, otherwise you're just like wasting an extra month when you could airship and get a foothold.
So if I had to get like a low end and a high end range of take home pay profitability that someone could reasonably expect once they have their business, they've done the process, they've gotten up to a point where they have stable business, what's realistic for this?
Let's just do like some simple math. So we're not going to want you guys selling products that are making less than $10 profit per sale. Let's just say $20 profit per unit. 5 units a day is $100 in profit. I'm hoping you guys should at least be able to make $3,000 a month in profit. It's not too hard to make 5 sales a day, $20 profit, multiply $100 profit times 30 days in a month, you made $3,000 in profit. It should be like the bare minimum. Like aim for $100 a day. Sometimes like low end, you could be making 50 or 60 bucks a day or something. One day you might not make any sales. The next day you might make a few sales. Like in the beginning, that's kind of how it is, especially if you only have one product. but it's more of a long-term vision here. The more sales history and traction you build on the product, the more ranking and the more keywords you start indexing for, and the more sales you're going to get, and it just turns into that snowball effect.
Do you recommend someone new works with one specific product and tries to scale it, or should they constantly launch and test new products?
We do so much analysis of the product before we ever launch it. That's why I haven't had to launch hundreds of products. People that will do drop shipping and wholesale and other stuff. I talked to a guy the other day. He's like, I have over 300. He was like a 60-year-old guy. He's like, I've set up over 300 listings, but he does wholesale. He was making a lot of money, but also the profit margins were way smaller because his wholesale supplier, he's buying from a middleman. He's not buying from the actual manufacturer, which is what I'm doing, getting a custom branding, logo, private labeling my own product brand. So that's, let's see, run me back with the question there.
So I'm trying to get a range, and you said $3,000 is something that people could expect. And I'm trying to figure out if that is one product. Should I be launching more products? Should I try to scale that one product? Like, how do I get that higher?
Yeah, we do a lot of that initial research on the first product. So you do want to stick with that. You don't just want to give up on it because, like I said, as you keep more sales going on it, it's going to continually sell. As long as you're profitable on it, even if it's selling kind of slow, don't get discouraged. Just keep reordering that product. And then you can rinse and repeat with some of the profits you've learned, the tactics you've learned, funnel that into your second product and start building those up. And over time, they literally just continually will build more sales. If you're not profitable, if you didn't do your research right and you can't cut your price in half and still break even, and you're like, after Amazon fees and everything, you're like, oh, these are eating me up, then it's time to find a different product that has an easier profit margin. It's better to sell a higher priced thing around $100 because then the Amazon fees actually don't eat you up that much. If you sell a $10 item, the Amazon fees can only have...
The Amazon fees, flat fees?
The fees are based on a size and weight, which is the FBA fee shipping to a customer. So we don't want to sell a sauna like whatever's over there in the corner. Something in the, shoebox size, small, standard size, whatever. And then a referral fee is also factored in, which is 15% of the selling price. So the FBA fee shipping it can only ever get so low. If you sell a $10 item, the fee might still be $6, which is eating up 60% of everything. So a $100 item, maybe your fee is $20, which is 20%. And then your product might cost you another $20 or $30. But after those Amazon fees and your cost, you'd be making a gross profit of $50 profit per sale.
So what I'm trying to figure out here, so if you're making $3,000 a month, that's really nice as side income. How can you build this into a full-time thing so that you can actually leave your job and have the freedom and fulfillment they're looking for? And I'm trying to figure out, how do you scale this? So it sounds like ads, they probably don't get you there in this specific model, but launching more products could. Is there anything else that you could do to get from that 3,000 mark to like, hey, now I can travel the world and go skateboarding anytime that I want to?
Well, absolutely. With one product, it might be difficult. It's definitely possible. And it goes far beyond just marketing on Amazon. If you really want to, like what I did when I was obsessed with this, like first starting, I built a YouTube for my product. I built an Instagram. I built Facebook group, Facebook page. I went into other pages, messaged people like, hey, we just launched this product. Like I was trying to get out there and drive external traffic with my two-step URL, which is a special URL. When anyone buys from that, it ranks me for my main keyword specifically. So it gets me to page one very quick. Those sales can then turn into more than just $3,000 per month. You get UGC, user-generated content. You get other influencers marketing your product. Then you build a secondary product. Your supplier probably sells multiple other products that you could easily build a whole product line around. You start doing that, and you can branch out from there. But my main takeaway for you guys is just sell a higher priced item. 5 sales a day, making $50 in profit. We went from $100 a day to $50 in profit, 5 sales, $250 profit per day. You're now pushing what, 6,000 or a little less than 4,500, something like that profit per month. And I think more than that. Can't do math right now. We're talking too much.
That's all right. But the point is, it's difficult to scale to full-time with one product. But if you are able
3 to 5 products?
so it's 3 to 5 products. So if it's 3,000 profit per product and you're doing 3 to 5 products,
9 to 15K profit per month.
okay, in terms of scalability and time scalability, there's obviously work to get it off the ground. Is there work to continue running the operation once it's up and going? Because I mean, you did a lot of stuff. You did research to find the right product. And you're like, well, the reason I don't miss is because I did a lot of research. Okay, that does take time up front. And then there's getting the products here, dealing with the importing. That's work up front. There's building out social medias. That's either work up front, or if you want to continue to grow the business, that's something that you could do forever if you want to try to scale a single product. But once it's set up, what is kind of the day-to-day, day in the life? This is what I have to do. You said you work 5 hours per month. Okay, what do you spend that 5 hours doing? And like, I know that FBA handles support, but is it ever a time where they say, hey, this has manufacturer issues, or you deal with supplier issues? Like, is 5 hours realistic?
I mean, it's not realistic unless you have really dived in on a product that's not a liability, not a risk. That's why the party kit thing is such a good idea. If you want to sell like my light therapy mask, you need FDA certification, you need crazy product liability insurance, and all these other factors that go into it. And if you don't know what you need up front, which most people don't know, Amazon's not going to tell you. You want to create a bare bones list, like a basic listing in your account, and then Amazon will flag it. So make the listing in your Amazon account before you ever buy inventory. Gives Amazon an opportunity to flag and tell you like, hey, this is a problem.
Actually, a really good point, because in doing research for this interview, I talked to some people who have tried this model, and they told me that they ordered a ton of inventory, and then Amazon rejected it, and they got stuck holding this inventory that they just had to try to figure out how to offload, and they ended up just losing a ton of money on it. So the fact that you do have a system to prove it out before
your bare bones listing.
Yeah, no, this is actually very good advice.
Yeah, so then there's that. For 5 hours a month, like, you're gonna need to be putting in like 3 to 6 months after your product's launch of like due diligence, hard work, getting reviews. Amazon has a program called Vine where you can get up to 30 reviews out the gate. In the beginning, I would have to like go in Facebook groups and be like, hey bro, can you buy my product? I'll buy yours. Let's leave reviews. Friends and family stuff didn't really work either. These are all against terms of service, not good. But now Amazon offers that Vine review program. So you get 30 reviews out the gate. If you create a product bundle and offer that's just a no-brainer, after you have a handful of reviews, like it should just work for itself. 3 to 6 months after the fact, you got your reviews, you got good ranking, your ads are dialed in, you're not spending too much, the return on ad spend looking good and everything. My day in life at this point is wake up. I mean, I just kind of refreshed the sales on my Amazon screen, like everyone likes to. And then if I need to reorder inventory, I'm talking to my suppliers. And then maybe I'm checking my ads.
You do demand planning. So how do you know if it takes a month to ship over on a boat? How do you know a month in advance that it's time to order? How stable is the income with this?
So honestly, inventory forecasting is really important, and it does change seasonally, like all the time. So you just have to be on top of it. I've still to this day have an issue sometimes with running out of inventory. I never want to stock my inventory in Amazon because I've had that trauma of having a product in and then them shutting it down with the light therapy mask, and then I had to ship units home, relabel them, do all this other stuff to get them sold. So I only ever order as much as I need for at least 2 months. So I understand that based on how many units I'm selling per month. Amazon has basically graphs and charts that show you inventory forecasting, how many weeks of units historically you have left in stock. I'm like, okay, if I'm selling this many units, like recently, even on the Shark Party Cup I've been selling for years, I had a crazy influx of sales randomly the other month, and I had to actually pay an extra $1,000 to airship units in to just stay in stock. If I sell out and I'm out of stock for 2 weeks, I get restocked. My product didn't lose crazy ranking. It's still basically up there when I turn the listing back on.
So if you had to say like low, medium, or high, does it really depend on the product, or how stable is the income for Amazon FBA?
It just, everything depends.
Is seasonal, is the holiday.
Everything depends on the product and stuff, and how fast you're selling it. And if you start getting influencers to market it, you might get more and more sales coming in. The income is stable. It just really depends. In the beginning with the Shark Party kit, I wasn't making crazy sales. I was making like 50, 60 bucks a day. And then after 6 months, I don't know, Amazon just started ranking it for more keywords and I just saw more sales coming in. I'm like, oh crap, I'm going to run out of inventory. So if you're running out of stock, it's kind of a good problem to have. You can be happy, like I'm selling my units. It's better than getting a listing restricted or whatever. You just have to be on top of it. Like if you've done enough work to get the product in, you're making sales, you'll know how to handle your forecasting of how many units to get in. It's not rocket science.
So I would say, from what I'm hearing, once you get a listing to a certain point, it's kind of medium where there's relatively stable income, but things could go wrong and it could go down, and things could go well and it could go up. The reason I would say medium is because whenever I looked at, and you posted a lot of earnings screenshots, they were all pretty stable for whatever it was you were posting, between 500,000, right around that $600-700 mark per day. And it was very, very, very consistent. I don't know if that was the nature of the product or if...
That's a monthly screenshot. And I mean, things change, not daily, or monthly. It's like maybe after 3 or 6 months, something really changes. And if you're making a lot of sales, Amazon's going to reward you and you're going to make more and more sales. So the graph will continually kind of go up if you're doing well, or the graph's going to kind of trickle off. And there's ways to re-rank your product if stuff like that happens.
And we talked a bit about scalability, but compared to something like traditional e-com, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, all these other businesses that are out there, how scalable is this one? It sounds like your strategy, if I heard you correctly, is scale a product to about 3K of profit and then do another product. You have one that, the party stuff got up to 15K, but is this something that is highly scalable? I mean, you had to put up cash for inventory.
Yeah.
Are there restrictions on how you could scale this business?
I mean, honestly, you can build as many products as you want, and Amazon, as long as your inventory, you're not holding inventory in their warehouses too long and whatever, your metrics look good, you can literally make infinite listings and have infinite Amazon space of, not infinite, but you get the picture. Like you have tons of Amazon warehouse space. You can ship in as many units as you want. There's sellers that make $3 million a month in the IPL market I'm about to get into. There's people doing $3 million a month with one product listing. That's the scalability. You can go from $2 a day or whatever to $3 million a month. It just depends on the product, the profit margin, the demand, everything. And that could just be with one listing. I have a student, Brian Pate, who used to work with me in the restaurant business. He was the bartender. Everyone was laughing at me when I wanted to quit the job and be an entrepreneur, him included. I started doing $30K a month, $1,000 a day in profit with the light therapy mask before it got shut down. And then, that was only 10 sales a day at $100 in profit per sale. It's only 10 sales a day.
What has kept you from scaling your existing products up to those higher levels? The red light therapy mask did very well. You've gotten the party to 15K, and you're talking about launching new. And I'm really trying to dive in here. Like, when should I try to scale a product versus when should I try to launch a new product?
Yeah, so you'll know what your main keywords are. Again, I'm talking a little bit about this software. I use Zonbase, so there's a lot of other softwares out there. I've used them all. I've spoke on stage in Vegas for a Helium 10 conference and different things like that. Right now I'm using Zonbase. I have a really good partnership with them. They all basically do the same thing. And Zonbase will show me not only what's important to see the Amazon fees, the profit margins of the products, but also like my main keywords, how much search volume for each of the keywords are in this market. So when I'm on page 1 for like the main keywords getting the most search volume, and I have a high ranking in the top third of that page, I know that this is basically reaching its limit of where I can get with this exact product.
Do you factor that into your product selection, essentially a TAM analysis?
Big time. You have.
You kind of have an idea when you're going in, this one can scale to about this.
Yeah, because I see IPL. Everyone in the top third of the page or whatever is making above 500,000 a month in revenue or whatever, up to 3 million. Below that, still on the first page, the 60% of the rest of that page are still doing over 6 figures in revenue. And when I come in with my unit, with my bundled item, I should be able to at least get a piece of that pie based on those numbers. And the IPL keyword might be getting 40,000 searches a month. And then Intense Pulse Light or hair removal for women could be getting 500,000, a million searches per month, like crazy numbers. So I'm not necessarily trying to rank to page 1 for hair removal for women, because maybe that's just going to be like shavers and whatnot, and they're not going to want to buy a $400 product or something. By the way, the eye pails do sell from $200 to $400, and I'm getting them for $44. So the profit on that should be well over 100, close to 200 at least profit per sale. And then if I'm selling 500 units a month at $200 profit per sale, that's 100K already.
This is what you've said is a passive income business model. I think a lot of people think of passive as I don't have to work on it. Obviously, everything that is passive takes work to set up.
Semi-passive.
So how much work does it take to get this to be passive? And then how passive is it once it's set up?
3 to 6 months of just hardcore, like studying Amazon, what products are going to be good, what keywords are going to be good for my product, how am I going to differentiate, how am I going to launch, rank, get reviews, everything. Spend 3 to 6 months, whatever, do that, and you should be good. And then it should basically tell you, is this product going to be profitable or not? I mean, you'll know before that, within like 3 months after launching, okay, do we have good? But a lot of people get a product in, my students and stuff, like, and they might just let it sit and they don't even try and get reviews and whatever. So it's not gonna like do anything. You do have to still work after you put the product on the website to get the reviews and the ranking. After that, within that 3 to 6 month time frame, like I keep talking about, you should have good ranking, good reviews, and the product should be making sales, and you're at the point where you don't do anything besides call the supplier and reorder inventory.
And that's 5 hours a month.
Yeah, I mean, less. I on the Temptation Island TV show, it was 6 weeks. They took our cell phones. We didn't have any sort of media, anything. I put my phone away.
And you're a solopreneur.
Solopreneur, no team behind me, no help. I had my listings on Amazon. I made more money selling on Amazon, not looking at my phone. I made a whole video about this. Like, that's when I really blew my mind. Like, I literally didn't have a phone for 6 weeks, and I made more money than they paid me to be on the show. Absolutely not even looking at my phone, and I still made the bread on Amazon, which was really groundbreaking. Being a solo entrepreneur, I didn't have teams talking to suppliers, when to ship units, nothing.
That is truly passive. All right, so we're talking about flexibility. We just talked about passive income, and we just want to understand how much time, location, and lifestyle freedom this truly provides. I believe it is, but is this truly something that you can do from anywhere, or is there any geographical need in any situation?
Amazon allows you to sell in what I believe to be like 93 other countries. If you live in the Philippines, if you live in Mexico, like you're a resident there, a citizen, you can still sell in Amazon USA, which is the biggest marketplace. There's Amazon in Japan. There's Amazon in Australia. Some of these marketplaces have low competition because there's not that much demand for like very saturated products in the US. So you can go sell toothbrushes in Amazon Japan or whatever and be on the top of page 1, whereas here in the US you cannot do that at all.
It's interesting.
So there's different marketplaces, but also, yeah, obviously, like you don't need, as long as you have Wi-Fi and the computer and you can talk to your suppliers, you don't touch the inventory. People get that confused a lot with this business. You can order samples, but I order the product from my supplier and they ship it into Amazon, and I can be anywhere in the world. You don't need to be anywhere.
If I'm looking to start this, what is a range of time per week that I need to be able to invest? Obviously, the 5 hours is great once it's all set up, but how much should I be prepared to spend to get it to the point where it does succeed?
Someone with a full-time job, like my dad, for instance, got everything up and running in whatever, within 3 months or something, let's say. So
how much time did he spend on it in that 3 months?
he came home from work and worked from when he got home after dinner, 7, 8 p.m. From 8 p.m., he probably put in 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours a day per week. Or no, yeah, 2 to 3 hours per day, like basically every day.
7 days?
Yeah, we can do that. So maybe 20 hours, roughly 20 to 30 hours, you want to do that per week. You can do this. You can do it with a lot less too, I would say. Like you could even get away with 10 hours a week. Like
it just might take longer to get to the point where you want to get.
It's just as long as you find the good product and make a good deal with the supplier, if you can do that, you get the product shipped. You're just waiting in that time. There's nothing you need to do in that downtime besides, optimize your listing, your photos. You're waiting for your shipment to arrive. It gets in there. Now is when you actually need to put things in motion and get the reviews, get the ranking, and do some of the launch strategies I talk about. And, you know, you can only do that for so long in the beginning. It only takes so many hours. You just copy and paste messages to a bunch of influencers. It doesn't take, you know, all day to do.
How do you find these influencers?
You could go on, I mean, I went on YouTube because long form content is really good for selling products. You know, the short form stuff, people are just swiping too quick. Long form, they're more apt to be maybe wanting to purchase. They spent more time with that person.
So what do you mean by you went on YouTube?
I went on YouTube, typed in the type of product or like women's beauty, and I could literally copy like a ton of different names. Actually, well, you click into their about section and then they might have an email or something like that.
You were doing manual outreach then.
Manual outreach.
So you would search up similar products, see who was promoting them, long form, doing well, found their email, reached out.
Even Instagram influencers, it's all fine. You can go micro influencers, people with like less than 10,000 followers. See if the engagement is good, if it's real, if they're getting comments.
How often do they reply? So if I'm an everyday person, they're like, this guy has thousands of followers, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. They'll never reply to me.
Yeah, if you have like, if maybe you have an Instagram with like 10 followers on it and you copy and paste a message to 100 people, I don't know, like 5 or 10 people get back to you. Probably more.
Yeah.
You just literally need to, but that's like all you need. If you have 5 people doing a review on your product with the light therapy mask, when I was kind of giving those out, I wasn't even paying them money to make the video. I'd say, do you want this product? And they're already making beauty videos. It's like, cool, they said, I'll just take the product. It's a $200 item. They get it through my listing. I pay them back. They buy it through that special URL. They leave me a review. Then they show it off to their audience. I tell them to plug in their bio or whatever, my special URL, which again ranks me in their bio for like a week or a month or whatever, or just, you know, post about it and tell them to go tap into my Instagram that I built for my page. And I literally put a couple pictures of my mask and then I put in like other lifestyle content and then a product picture. 3 lifestyle random pictures I found on Google Images or another Instagram, and then a picture of my product. And I made a beautiful looking Instagram for my beauty page. And I'm a dude, and I made like a pink, weird freaking Savvy Beauty type of brand from scratch.
Yeah. And so do you think that if you're reaching out to someone, you have a brand, it helps with their reply rate?
Yeah. I mean, in building the Instagram, you just have to post 9 times or whatever, and it will fill up the first. You open an Instagram, it'll look like, okay, cool. If you don't have that many followers, get an AI thing and it'll make you like 10,000 followers in like 2 days.
Yeah, I think people, what I want people to realize is getting in touch with people that you think are unobtainable is not as hard as you think, especially when you get into the influencer market and we're not talking about large celebrities, which are still also obtainable. If you just do a genuine outreach, and he said you can just copy and paste the same message to 500 people and they'll probably get you a 5 people reply rate. Yeah, that could work. Another thing that you could do is do tailored, genuine outreach messages. It takes a bit longer, but it does have a higher reply rate. And so if you just kind of put a little bit of care, a little bit of effort, you'll be surprised who you can get in touch with. And then to the point about social media, what doors they might open for you just because you're in the game and they see themselves in you.
Big time. I mean, I had one lady bought the light therapy mask. She's an esthetician. She did a ton of posts using red light therapy in her, like on her clients, and then made a ton of posts even after I said, okay, like you don't need to keep posting for me now, but she wanted to keep doing it on her own. And it opened that door. And then her other influencer friends saw it, and then they can reach out to you. And I said, okay, you message 100 people, 5 get back to you. It's more like 20, like 30, 40. You can get a lot of replies. It just depends on the niche again and how big of a following they have. But like some of these people had 90,000 followers, 70,000 followers, but it's a hot type of product, LED light therapy. These people already like wanted that. So they're interested. If I'm trying to sell them a little shaver thing, they're going to be like, no thanks. Like they're not even going to reply.
So Luke has 30,000 followers at the moment on Instagram. And he had posted a video that was getting a lot of attention. And during that time, when he had a lot of attention, I did cold outreach and got a reply, I think the very next day.
I replied to every comment. I'm like an OCD type of guy. Not everyone's like this, but any message, like my phone at the end of the night has no weird notification things, badges above any of my apps. It's like my messages are done, Instagram's done, my email is cleared out since like 2017. Like I have so many emails I have, and then actually the most recent email in the top of my inbox is I signed up for your Amazon course to the coach. And then every other one I will either have read and drag into like a folder that's important. If it is important, I'll leave it there until it's taken care of, and then I can archive it. But you have to be organized. If you're not organized, like business things are going to be more difficult.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, reach out to people that you think will not reply, and I think you will be surprised at the rate that you get responses. So in terms of hour flexibility, you say 5 hours, other people getting started, can they work on their own terms, or do they have to, when I'm doing that 10, 20, 30 hours getting started, are there certain hours I have to be online? Can I do it in evenings? Can I do it anytime?
You can do it anytime. You can the only thing is your suppliers are going to be awake. If you're in the US, most suppliers on the website that I use, Alibaba, where we get manufacturers verified, we look into their whole company, and you can see they have a third party like verifying company coming and making sure they have good manufacturer practices. You can see their whole workflow. It's not like a weird sweatshop we're buying from, which a lot of people think is the case. But even on Alibaba, being like a Chinese website, there's suppliers from all over the world. They're Bangladesh, Thailand, Germany, Japan. You can find suppliers there. And I would encourage you guys, there's a free Chrome extension called Alibaba Lens. Download the free Chrome extension, and you can literally screenshot any product on the internet. It doesn't have to be Amazon. And it will instantly show you all the suppliers that sell that product. It has a little pop out on the side of your screen, and it shows you how much the units are selling, or you can buy it for from the supplier. So if you're looking to go buy this or that online, just use that, screenshot it, and see the exact product selling for like 5 times less or more from the manufacturer. And then that's where you'll see that arbitrage that, oh my God, like this is how people make money, because this item is $10 and it's on Amazon for $60. I was about to buy this thing for $60. It's literally a $10 item.
I like that you said that. Obviously, the tool is very cool and it does exist, and it gets you thinking differently, because whenever you think about things in terms of how much they cost, you think, how much do I pay for them? And then if you just have a little tool on the side, and every time you hover over a specific item, it tells you what you could buy it for and what that person bought it for, it opens your mind to like, holy crap, they're marking this up 3, 5, sometimes more, multiples of what they got it for, including shipping. And so it changes it shifts your thinking from a consumer to a seller, which is very important.
You need that, because honestly, I've fallen into it with being a consumer versus a creator. The last 3 years traveling so much, I started catching myself like going through IG reels more than I should, or just blowing time for no reason. When in the past, when I was making a YouTube video almost every day, 5 days a week for like 2 years straight when I was first starting, I didn't like watch a single video. I had already watched every video there was about Amazon. And now I'm just literally documenting my journey. Every morning I wake up, I didn't even edit the videos. I literally just turned the camera on, talked, posted it. It felt accomplishing. I got to the gym, done. So it was just kind of getting started and not being a consumer. It was being a creator. Same thing, switch from that consumer mindset to now you can be a seller. Okay, this is how much the product is. This is how much it's selling for. Wow, I was being played for a fool for years buying this product. And you'll see on Amazon specifically that a lot of people sell the same product and they just have a slightly different brand name on each of them. It's literally from the same supplier. It's the same quality product. I mean, look at water bottles, for example. They're all like the same type of hydro flask that are $60, and there's another guy with a different brand name on it. It's virtually the same product, and it might even have newer, cooler functions. I bought a $6 water bottle that I filtered on Amazon, like the results show me like the cheapest water bottles, because I forgot mine. I'm like, I'm not going to spend $40 on a water bottle. Found one for $6, and it had this cool flip up magnetic, like the thing that you carry, the part that you carry next to the nozzle where you drink, was like a magnetic thing for your phone. I'm like, oh, that's kind of a cool, unique idea. And it was a $6 water bottle. It had a stupid logo, which is probably why they couldn't sell it. And then I covered that with stickers, and my friends were like, cool water bottle, dude. Nice stickers, bro.
I think this is really important as well. When you're starting anything, a lot of people think they have to have the next billion-dollar idea. They have to have something super unique. They care too much about the brand before anyone has even seen or tried or cared about it. When I was doing investment banking, I was selling software businesses for 9 figures, over $100 million. And there would be companies that were identical to other companies that exist, but they had their own customers, and it was mind-blowing. They would have the exact same features, exact same functionality. And I used to think when I was in kind of the venture world, the startup world, that you had to have an entirely unique idea. But at the end of the day, all you have to do is copy competitors that exist and maybe change one thing. It could be branding. It could be you read the reviews and see there's something people don't like, and then you change that one thing and release it. It could be targeting a specific niche in a way that the other one doesn't effectively. If you're selling shoes, you could sell shoes for fishermen, hats for fishermen. It's the exact same hat. Maybe it just has a fish on it instead of something else. Or maybe you sell a hat with a fish to chefs instead of the fishermen. It's just who you target, how you market, how you go to the market. You don't have to come up with something creative, original. There's billions of people on earth. The probability that you can actually do that is very low. It's all about finding something that works, picking a strategy, sticking to it, and seeing it through.
A lot of people want to, when they come to me and say, Luke, I have this really cool idea, and they want to be an inventor. I strive away from that. That's not my strategy. I find the market that has high demand and low competition. I gauge competition by on the first page, based on my software, like I can instantly see I need most of the people on the first page to be having under 200 or 300 reviews. If everyone on the first page has thousands of reviews, I'm not even going to jump into that market. It's too crazy. You can't expect to come in with like 0 reviews and 30 reviews and be competing against 4,000 reviews. So competition, lower reviews, and then demand, revenue, which you can't see anywhere unless if you have a software. So you can see internal data of how much money each seller's making. And I want to see at least most of the people on the first page making over at least $10,000 a month with like lower reviews. And then you're like, okay, well, that makes sense. I can have 20 reviews and then I should be making at least a piece of this pie, at least over 10,000 in revenue, which could be around, 30 to 40% profit margin. And then you're already in your $3,000 profit territory per month.
I don't know Luke. This is my first time actually meeting him, and I was very skeptical about him just being some kind of pie-in-the-sky guru, but he's actually dropping some serious value right here. Some absolute specific, very actionable, detail-oriented value, and I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, so next we want to talk about getting started. To this point in the podcast, you've learned about it, and you say, this is interesting. I want to figure out, what does it look like for someone getting started? Realistically, what is a range of money that someone should be prepared to invest to actually get started and find success, assuming there's a possibility that the first time they try doesn't work? They have to buy inventory. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
So how much should someone be prepared to spend?
Honestly, look, I started with $1,000. I bought a guy's course for $500, and I've spent inventory $500. And I bought a product research software that was $40 a month. I used it for the first month, found my product, paused the subscription. The Amazon fees, all that stuff only comes into play when your product actually makes a sale. Warehousing fees are like extremely low. For me, having 500 units in the inventory in the warehouse, I paid like $55 per month to have 500 units of that, like just a Shark Party kit in there specifically, which is like a pound and a half. It's comes in this plastic bag or whatever. So that's that. As I started with $1,000. But look, my first product was only $5. I could only sell it for like $18.99 or $20, making $8 profit per sale. I sell out of 100 units. I only made $800. You want to have a little more capital to be able to purchase. Maybe your product is $20 per unit from your supplier, and you can sell it around $60. Okay, so then you should at least be making, after Amazon fees, $20 profit per sale. That's like bare minimum where you need to be, and buy 100 units of that. $20 per unit times 100 units, $2,000. I recommend $2,000 to $4,000 on the like entry level, $2,000 to $4,000 for inventory. And then I keep bringing up like these courses and stuff. Look, you can do this on your own, and there's a high chance you probably won't succeed because there's so many nuances, there's so many landmines, there's so many things you didn't know until you found out about it, and then it's like too late. Like Ben's talking about this guy who got the inventory in Amazon and then the listing gets shut down.
That's true. If someone told him that, it would have been worth his money.
Yeah. So there's, there's courses out there. There's a $500 one. There's whatever. It's just someone who's actually going to be attentive, replying to you. You need the course creators to actually be talking to you. You don't want to get in where they have like middlemen and other people, like going to people that are too big in the course creator space. They may have a very step-by-step guide and everything, but it could be something that you could easily find on YouTube. Most of the courses have basically the same information. What you're really paying for is getting to talk to like the guy who's actually doing it. So that's really key. I mean, if they have lower level people under them, you don't get to talk to the main guy, but those lower level people are actually making real money and they are actively doing it. A lot of course people like just sell courses and they don't continue selling. I've always wanted to just really keep selling. I cannot lie to people in that type of ways.
I think this is really important. When I talk to other creators in the space, and a lot of what my software is doing is attempting to find out who are the creators worth listening to versus who are the ones that might not be worth all of the hype that they create. And one of the most important things I've heard from other creators who are trying to say, don't talk to that guy, is, are they currently doing the thing that they're teaching? And that is important to them. And so I think that the fact that you are actually doing this, you haven't pivoted fully to courses, it does say something.
And it's more satisfying for me to actually put in those puzzle pieces to build the puzzle, to build the product, to make the real sales, than it is for me to sit back and just make money with something that like I'm not actually doing. And then I'm teaching people things that are outdated or I'm not up to date with what's happening. It's like me making a bunch of money with like a crypto trade and then the next day it's like gone or something. It's just a weird gut feeling that I have versus me really putting in my heart and soul into figuring out what's going to make a product work that gets me excited. And that's why I never want to give this up. And I have goals that I want to continue building. I put it off for 3 years. It could run passively, basically. It's proven, but I want to get to the 6 figures per month in profit. And that's my new goal that I plan with just 3 products. I should be able to hit that.
I think you mentioned an amount of money for inventory, but if you had to give me just you have to have this chunk of change and here's how it breaks down into inventory, you'd recommend a course, anything else, what is that number?
I mean, low end, like you pay $4,000 for like a good product and $1,000, for instance, my base.
I hate to interrupt, but what if that product fails and you have to launch another product? What is like the success rate on a product launch, realistically?
The success rate is like, if you try it on your own, there's no telling. You have someone that's helping you, coaching you, this product is going to work. It looks good. The profit margins are great. You and me will both have like a very good idea that this thing's going to work. We have a great gut feeling. And the worst case scenario is, like I said, we can cut our price in half. We get the item for $20. It sells for $60. We cut the price to $30. And then your Amazon fee is lower as well because the referral fee, the 50% of the selling price, drops as well. So you sell at 30 and you still break even, basically. And then you can undercut. So there's really, if you do it right and you have someone teaching you, there should be no way that you can actually like really lose money unless Amazon restricts the listing, and unless you didn't factor in the profit margin and make sure that you can cut your price in half versus your competitors. If your competitors all lower their price, then you to $40 and now your break even still at 30, you have limited time to kind of like, okay, let's drop our price lower. If you have too much inventory on hand, let's drop it to like 30 break even for a little bit, spike our rank, get a bunch of sales. Now, hopefully we continue selling, but the market's getting more competitive. So on my next reorder, I'm going to be more cautious. I'm going to be like, is this a niche I need to stick with? Or are competitors getting too crazy?
If I say this a little bit differently, the amount that you risk for inventory, if you want to test multiple products, you can get that money back before testing another product. So it's not like you invest $4,000 into inventory, it doesn't work out.
You're not
okay, so then you can reinvest that same $4,000 after liquidating.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's what I want to be the worst case scenario. And we're creating ourselves an opportunity because we're creating a bundle. Okay, we're not just selling the same item as everyone. Everyone's selling the same item. I've made that mistake. I had these really cool garden gloves and I was like, oh my God, these are selling for $20. I can get them for $2. The reviews are very low. Everyone's making a ton of money. A month later, by the time my units arrived, the price had gone from $20 to like $9.99 or something. I was like, oh my God, I bought 500 units of this. It was only $1,000 of inventory purchased. But what I ended up having to do was ship home like 200 units. I sold like 300, ship home 200, go to garden stores, and literally they bought my inventory off me, garden stores, and I got my money back from that. But the key is that I didn't bundle. If I just simply included like a little hand shovel or a hand rake with the gloves, I could have stayed at $19.99 basically and shown people that I have a better offer. The reason people drop the price is everyone had the same listing, the same picture, the same freaking products. You have to bundle, and then when others are dropping their price, you can remain as the premium offer.
That is really interesting. I would like to talk about bundling more, but I do first want to get that explicit number.
Oh yeah.
How much and what is the
Do they
breakdown? Yeah.
Yes. Minimum is, I would say, $5,000 for a course, inventory.
How's that 5,000 breakdown between each of those things?
So I said maybe, let's say, $4,000 for product, 200 units of a, whatever it is, $20 product, or 100 units of a $40 product that you should be able to sell for like over $100, near $100, which is going to make a lot of profit per sale. Say 4,000 for inventory, 1,000 for a course. My base course is $1,000, and that still comes with multiple coaching calls and multiple months of mentorship. So you get all the videos, but I still give you some one-on-one time. Higher end, you want to buy 200 units. I never really recommend ordering over 200 units as a test order. That's just overkill. 200 units allows you to have not too few of units. Otherwise, like you buy 50 units, you get them in, you do your little giveaways, your launch, and you're like already out of stock. 200 units is not too many to where, well, it's not too few to where you're going to run out of stock too fast. It's not too many to not give you enough time to be able to restock on time. So 200 is a nice sweet spot.
Anything from marketing?
Marketing, we're looking at, you're going to be giving away some products. So maybe that's already factored into the $4,000. That's already kind of units that you've already purchased.
Software costs.
Giving away. Software costs could be $40 to $100 per month. And this is something that you might only need for like 1 month, and then you can pause the subscription. So it's literally advertising, $200 a month, software $100 a month. So the arbitrary extra cost, whatever, is like outside of a course and inventory is like $300. You're just looking at a course and inventory. The storage costs, all that stuff are only factored in once your units arrive, and they're so like nominal and small that you sell 2 or 3 units and you've already covered your storage costs for the month or something. If you do it right, if you're selling something that's making $20 at least profit per sale. The high end, 5K, low end, let's say high end, 15,000. I have a package where I do everything for you that's more expensive. It could be like 10K or something. So $5,000 could still be put towards inventory. And with the 10K offer like this, the offer that I do have, I'm partnered with Zombase, so they actually give you lifetime access to their software. So instead of $100 a month, it's kind of factored in that price, and you get the software for life, basically, as well as my course videos. And then I cover like, hey, here's how to do every step with you on the call. So I literally used to fly out. I was telling Ben, I used to fly out to people's houses for that offer and teach them in person for like 5 days. That's not scalable, so I stopped doing that. But it was really fun, and like we're all talking about, getting out and meeting people.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, we'll talk about that if we discuss coaching and courses one day on a podcast. Someone's new. What is a range of time that they should expect to become profitable? I think I've heard you say 3 to 6 months pretty consistently here.
Yeah, 3 to 6 months. You get your product in. First few weeks, you're doing Amazon Vine Review Program. You're doing a few giveaways under the special 2-step URL. It might take, 2 weeks for everyone to finally get your reviews in, and 2-3 weeks. By the other 2 weeks in the month, you're looking at the first month. You should have your reviews. You should have some ranking. You're still tweaking and optimizing your listing. There's new keywords you're going to start adding in or whatever. There's new keywords you're going to start adding into your advertising campaigns. These things take little tweaks, but it's not like it's taking hours per day. It's like changing a couple of keywords, or, you might spend an hour checking out other keywords for your advertising campaign.
In part of your strategy, don't you sell for lower cost in the beginning. So could there be a period where you do like a full turn of inventory or two where you're just operating at minimum cost or minimum revenue in order to get reviews, and then once you're at a certain point, then you start really cashing in the profits?
Yeah, the first product order, about 200 units. We're not going the whole turn, but maybe like, 50 units or 20 to 50 units. We're almost at the break-even price to just show the customers we have the bundle, we have the no-brainer offer, our images, our listing looks badass, and customers are buying it, and our ads are converting very well. In the beginning, you want a high conversion rate, so Amazon's going to push your product more. If you start with like low reviews and you're at the highest price you plan to ever sell at, you're already kind of shooting yourself in the foot. You want to give Amazon a reason to rank your product, and that involves sales velocity and high conversion rate. Maybe 50 out of the 200 units, you kind of have it a break even, and then you're starting to kick your price up $10 every few days. If the sales keep rising, like just keep bumping up the $10 every few days or every week or something.
And you still think 3 to 6 months in that period, you should be able to achieve profitability?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
If you're doing everything right, if you have good profit margins, if you've made a good bundle, if you didn't get into a market that's too competitive, like all these little things, if you did every one of those right, like 100%, within 3 months of launch, you should be profitable. The Brian Pate guy, I didn't finish that story, the server I used to work with, his second day, he made 266 sales and made $15K in revenue in his second day. He was selling a COVID-related product, so it was a time frame related thing, but he made $500K that year in his first year on Amazon.
Wow.
So
Yeah, I mean, it does speak to the scalability. Obviously, that's an outlier, but it could happen, and you can't win the lottery unless you play the lottery. So whether or not it's Amazon FBA, drop shipping, affiliate, whatever it may be, do something. Start posting, make content, talk to people, get in the market. Amazon FBA was not the first thing that Luke has tried. Luke worked into Amazon FBA after trying other things that he discovered he didn't like until he found things that he did like. Try something. Very important.
But don't try too many things. Another thing I was telling Ben at lunch is I really specialized in Amazon. I got obsessed with it. That was a real key point, that really you guys have to find some form of obsession. A lot of big entrepreneurs, you always hear them like, I was obsessed. I was like crazed about this thing. At the dinner table, everywhere when I was talking about Amazon, it was you should be obsessed if you know for a fact, like deep down, this is something that will literally change my life and break me out of the matrix, which is like, unfathomably like life-changing. So if you're not obsessed about that, then you're never going to be obsessed about anything. And it was me then having to go into YouTube and literally spewing everything out that I'm doing in videos just to get it off my chest, because I was like so obsessed with it.
I think this is really important also, which is throw something at the wall and keep throwing things at the wall until you see what sticks. But once something sticks, drop everything else to do the one thing. If you try to do everything, you will do nothing well. There's this fallacy that everyday people hear, which is that millionaires have 7 streams of income. Okay, that's probably true. In fact, that's almost certainly true. That's why it's a statistic. However, I can say that 9 out of 10 of the millionaires had one thing that made them a millionaire, and then they diversified into 7 things once they had the money. So do one thing, throw many, many things at the wall, see what sticks. Once something sticks, and this could just be something that you love doing. It's a business model. It could make money, but you just love doing it. And then you have something else that it's like, it's making a little bit of money, but you hate doing it. You're going to go further by sticking with the one thing that you love that could make money, but isn't right now, than trying to force yourself to do one thing that you hate, even though it's making a little bit of money right now. There's way more upside in doing something that you love because, just like you said, at the dinner table, you think about it, you obsess over it. The other thing at the dinner table, you just think about how much you hate it and you resent it. The whole point of this is to build freedom and fulfillment in your life so you could live a life that you actually love instead of just serving other people.
He who chases 2 rabbits catches none.
It's true. And I mean, you see this. I was running a company with like 200 employees. If you just put something out there, very simple task, you say, hey, could someone do this? It'll never get done. But you say, hey, so-and-so, I need you to do this. It'll get done. And then you say, hey, so-and-so, I need you to do this. I need you to do it by this time. Do you have any questions? Then you'll get an instant response. They'll have clarity. They'll affirm that they're going to do it, and you can almost guarantee it will get done.
That sounds like some Hermosi. I literally heard him say that exact stuff. Alex
Really?
Hermosi literally said that exact thing, like being really specific about what you need to tell your employees specifically what to do, but it's also what you need to tell yourself to do. I have my journal that I've started since, the first time I ever got into business. Even my profit log since 2018, I started logging my profit every month. Just still the same thing. Every month I write out my goals, what exactly it is that I need to do. Pen and paper gets something going in my brain that just like doesn't hit the same if I try and type it out. So,
Yeah.
Everyone
has their thing.
That's something there too.
For someone with no experience, if someone wants to get into this, how beginner friendly is this? Is this something that just anyone could pick up on? Or now it's easy for you because you have 8 years of experience, but if I'm brand new, is it totally different?
I mean, I have had someone like that was about 71 or 72 years old that bought my course and created a wall painting bundle, like the painter thing or whatever. He got his product in. I did a call with him. I'm like, hey, did you realize you made 9 sales so far this week? And it was like his first week. He's like, I launched my product, Luke. Tell me what I'm doing wrong or what I need to fix. And he had already randomly made sales. I don't even think he had any reviews on the product. I see that a lot because we do create a bundle and something that is a no-brainer for customers to buy. So this guy's like 70 years old. You do need some tech skills. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you and say you don't know how, if you've never used a computer, you can do this. Like Amazon Seller Central is the platform where you can list your products. Now I can do it with my eyes closed. But when you first start, it seems daunting. There's all these buttons and things. And the thing is, like, 5 buttons will get you to the same place. And it just is cluttered for like no reason. We're like, there's 5 avenues to get the same thing.
Amazon's a small company. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. They're just breaking away now.
And so what is the risk that someone who tries this fails and loses money?
In any business, I mean, there's a percentage, there's statistics out there like, look, 90% of people will fail.
Let's say they do the right things. Like they're not above average in any category, but they're willing to do what it takes and they do the right things.
I mean, the percentage then is very, very high. They will 100% make sales. They're going to start making profit. And then
they will start making profit.
Yes, it is up to them to then keep it running. They're going to break profit on their order of units because, as long as you're selling 10% over your break even, you're still undercutting competitors. You'd still make a little bit of profit is how I'm factoring all this in here.
Yeah. So for the sake of the question I'm asking, I try to make it a consistent question I ask everyone. What is the risk that you lose money? And it sounds like because you do have inventory, the probability that you actually lose money is fairly low.
Fairly low. I mean, even if your product gets restricted on Amazon, you can go sell it on eBay. I had a plushie that I was selling on Amazon. Got the units for $15, was selling for $79.99, $80, making like $40 or whatever after Amazon B's profit per sale. Great numbers, everything, low reviews. What happened was it was a copywritten type of product. So Amazon shut it down. I had to ship the units home, unfortunately. And I literally made a TikTok shop in like overnight, basically, and just posted random videos of the plushie. You guys probably already, some of you might know it. It's really stupid. It's Skibidi Toilet. Do you know what that is?
No, but it sounds ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. So I just found videos of these that are already mega viral, and I posted those on my TikTok. I didn't even create my own videos. And then I just plugged my product link there. And then I had to then ship out the units myself, which sucked. That's one drawback with TikTok Shop as opposed to Amazon. I don't necessarily think they offer warehouse space for all their sellers yet.
I think they have partners and they're working on it.
They're working.
I was in the fulfillment space and I think they partnered with Shipmonk or someone like that. And they are working on acquiring partner warehouses. It does not exist yet. And I don't know if they ever will actually get the traction because it is a complex thing as opposed to Amazon, which owns the actual infrastructure. They're trying to manage a variety of fulfillment solutions.
Third-party logistics.
Yeah, could be challenging. So, I mean, they've been trying it for a while and they still haven't figured it out. So that is a differentiator on Amazon.
But that point there quickly, you have a physical product. Even if Amazon shuts it down, you can sell it on eBay, other places. I could go sell my garden gloves at a garden store, drop them off, still make my money back.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, money loss because you have inventory that could be liquidated in multiple
You
ways.
can't be lazy though. You have to
Yeah.
do something. You can't just say, "Oh, I have this product and now I have no time. I'm just going to throw it all away." Like
So what are the most common reasons that people fail?
low profit margins, not factoring in like after Amazon fees and your product cost, everything costs you $30 and everyone's selling at 40. Your margins are small here. You don't have room to cut your price in half and still break even. So that's sketchy. That means you're not going to make a lot of money. The other thing is just not differentiating, not bundling, not having a real no-brainer offer that if you showed your friend the first page on Amazon or whatever, and your product is one of 50 products on that page, if they're not like picking your product and they don't know which product yours is yet, then that could be a sign that you need to work on something. Like you have a total random audience. They look at the page, all the products are there. Yours is one there, a mystery product. They should like see yours and want to buy it. And if you can do that test on people and they see it, then you know that you have like a no-brainer good freaking offer.
That's really interesting. So let's talk about bundling now. This is really interesting. You can take something that's not proprietary and make a proprietary combination. And the aha moment I had was when people are trying to compare things side by side and they see, okay, this mask costs this and this laser hair removal costs this, but together they cost something that I cannot compare, and it differentiates you, one, on, hey, I can get these together nowhere else, and two, it makes it harder to do the side by side and say, all right, I could get this cheaper somewhere else.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, the bundle is really, I had another student, he started doing $60,000 a month revenue with hemp oil for dogs. Maybe your dog, Charlie, the golden retriever. Now, he's already a chill dog. He doesn't need hemp oil.
Calvin.
Oh, Calvin.
This is a good boy.
Charlie. Everyone was selling a 1-pack of the hemp oil for dogs at $34.99, $29.99, whatever, $30. He came in and did a 2-pack and sold it for $39.99. So it's not even just bundling with a different proprietary item, whatever. It could be just a 2-pack. And that made him $60K a month because it's like, buy one for $30 or buy two for $40.
Yeah.
It's just like a no-brainer.
No-brainer offer. Yeah. You're now 8 years in, but you were a beginner at one point and you did find success. So what resources helped you succeed?
A lot of YouTube, Facebook groups in the beginning, but honestly, a lot of that is just kind of noise. Like for real, the Facebook groups, there's more people, and especially the Amazon forums, of people just complaining. I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to win. I mean, I just had to do it. But I did get into the Facebook groups. I did learn a couple things here and there. But honestly, like the procedure to do the steps, find the is like a 6-step thing. It's set up your business, find a product, contact supplier, make a listing, ship the product in, market and launch and advertise it, basically. So it's the same procedure that everyone's going to tell you. There's little nuances like here's a special URL, or here if you didn't know about the review program, or reach out to influencers. It's all the same stuff. It's just you just have to get out there and like do it. What made me succeed was just not giving up when I was faced with obstacles. I have videos early on with my first product, neodymium magnets, video called Overcoming Obstacles. Amazon shut the magnets down. They said this could be a choking hazard. I had to prove to them that it's over 1.25 inches in diameter. Mine was 1.26. So it's like 0.01 inches bigger, which my suppliers had already known. So it's not a choking hazard. And I had to call seller support multiple times. You can talk to back-end Amazon staff, representatives that help you get your product back up and running if it's ever shut down for any reason. I just called the freaking people like over and over until I got a representative. So you can't give up. And that's another thing, bringing it back to skateboarding, trying the trick over and over and over. And now it's muscle memory. I do with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
It's just, you have to stick with it. The more painful it is, the more regulations and hoops I have to jump through with FDA clearance and this and that with the product. That's why these markets have less competition than the other one.
I was thinking about the mask.
Yeah. it's so worth it in the end. It's
You're one of the
literally,
few people who jumped through the hoop.
Yeah.
So you're one of the few people who can have that upside with this product that not many people can sell that has extremely high margins.
and then we bundle on top of it to make it a no-brainer. You still have to do that.
All right, so I'm going to move along here. We talked about reasons that people fail, but we also talked about how if this is something that you obsess over, you're more likely to succeed. Who is this for? Who is that person that will obsess over this?
Like me, I had to have my back against the wall. There's so many people who come up with excuses on why they want to or can't do it now. And like, I just started running ads for my program for the first time ever here recently. And I'm doing now cold calls, which is a really weird, awkward thing for me kind of. And these people say, we love the presentation. We love everything makes sense. And then it's just like, sometimes there's like, I need to think about it. And the same guy that told me that just said, well, my crypto portfolio is down 200,000 in the past couple weeks. I'm like, well, literally you can start this business for like, $3,000, $4,000 and your numbers are fluctuating tens of thousands every day. What is this like 2 to 3K? Like what difference is that going to make for you if like you start making $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month passively with this? He's like, well, it would change my life, I guess, because this is cash flowing business. This is not investments that you're not actively like getting into your bank account. I mean, these are other things like that. So this is for people like me who had their back against the wall, just needing to find a way out and having no other real options, like get a career or be my own boss and choose that. If you hate your job and you have enough like internal like gumption to say, I need to do something different, and you're not afraid to like pull the trigger after the opportunity is presented to you on a silver platter, like that's who it's for. If you actually take too long and aren't decisive, this is probably not for you, because honestly, the people I've seen that come back to me like 3 months later and they're like, I've been thinking about, I think I'm ready to do it. And then they still pause another 2 months. And then they come back 6 months later or whatever. And then they do it, like they're going to give up. I already know they're going to give up. Brian Pate, the guy who did the 500K in his first year, didn't even tell me. He just bought my course, did it, and then said, yo, Luke, I bought your course. Can you look over this product for me? I'm like, dude, those numbers are great. That's all I said. He's like, all right, great. That's all I need. I don't want to take more of your time. The people that like are going to be, are kind of already successful in some area of their life will be successful at this.
That is something interesting, because a lot of people have jobs where they are high performers, but they do not have freedom and fulfillment. And I had this when I was in the corporate world and I had to work a ton. And I was a high performer, but I didn't want to be in this, I have to work for a boss, I have to stay up late and work, I can't control my own schedule, I can barely travel, I can barely work out, I can barely breathe. And so something like this is for people who are, you're a high performer, but you want freedom and fulfillment. Something that you could start on the side and then build it up over time.
Yeah.
So I do think that's who it's for. Who is it not for?
Like I said, procrastinators, people that are ready to just jump to the next flash in the pan, people that cannot get over immediate gratification, that just keep that cheap dopamine, like keep scrolling on reels and maybe this business model, maybe this business model. If you just keep saying like maybe to yourself and you've never really stuck with something, for me, honestly, it translates into sports. Everything I've really done in my life, whether it was baseball, soccer, golf, skateboarding, paintballing, like I have all these hobbies, and every single one I got into, I was really good at it because I focused and I was really trying to be my best at anything that I ever touched. So if that's you, this is for you. If you try things and you're not good at like everything you do, it's not for you.
So if you're not good at everything, it's not for you.
If you like pick up things, if you try things and you give up quickly, it's not for you. If you cannot manage to stay organized, this is not for you. If you don't have more than $1,000 in your bank account, this is not for you. You need to have some financial, rationale and organization. Like I talked to some people, they're really living paycheck to paycheck, and it's hard to see, but I just think that could be a symptom of a bigger problem that is a mindset with people that maybe they get their money, their paycheck, and they don't know how to save anything. And that's going to translate into building a business for yourself. If you don't have that accountability for yourself, it's not for you. You have to be able to know how to save money, organize your email. If you have overflowing things that are just, your car's a mess, your room's a mess, your inbox on Gmail's a mess, it might not be for you. I'm not saying this isn't 100% for you, but you have to clean those things up before you start any business that's going to involve you putting real money in. There's other businesses out there that you could start, affiliate marketing and stuff, that take $0 to start up. So there's zero risk up front. You are risking capital, but there's bigger upside. There's more potential for like real passive income freedom. There's higher profit margins. There's, all.
This is actually a really interesting point, which is entrepreneurship is not for you if your life is in disarray. And there's a book, I think it was a military guy, don't quote me on that, but he made a book called Make Your Bed. And I think in the military, every morning, the first thing that you do is you make your bed. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. It gives you a sense of organization. And I think Jordan Peterson also has one of his rules for life, which is put your room in order before you criticize the world. Essentially, you're not in a position to either criticize the people who are in the ring, nor to jump in the ring yourself if you cannot do the basic organizations of your daily life. Trust me, it gets disorganized. It gets chaotic. If your life is dragging you in multiple directions and that direction is mostly down, you are not going to be able to hold your head above water to manage a business. For those of you who are well off and have a good job, entrepreneurship is for you. For those of you who are not, focus on how you can improve yourself, how you can improve your life, how you can get more organized, how you can cut out the toxic distractions, how you can get, even fitness is a sense of discipline. Every day you go to the gym, you will feel accomplished and you will feel good about yourself. And if you don't go to the gym after going to the gym consistently, you will feel guilty. And so you'll learn to have this level of self-accountability. And then once you have this kind of trust with yourself, then at that point, you can jump into entrepreneurship because then you know you will follow through and not give up. But build that accountability and build that trust before you take on massive risk of entrepreneurship and chaos and risk money. I'm moving to closing, but before we close out, I want to hear from you. Amazon FBA versus dropshipping versus TikTok Shop.
Like we said, there's some pluses to TikTok and dropshipping that you won't get with Amazon, okay? So there's lower initial risk with dropshipping and TikTok Shop because necessarily you can dropship. What dropshipping is you can create a listing on a website or whatever, and you don't have to buy the inventory up front. Someone buys the product, then you have to go tell the supplier, hey, this person bought the product. Let's say you get the money from the customer, they bought your product. You then, every order that's made, you have to go buy the product from your supplier for the cheaper price and get the customer's address and ship it to the customer. So you see there's a huge step that is kind of annoying there versus FBA, where Amazon customers are buying your product. They think they're buying it from Amazon. They get Prime 2-day delivery. Their credit card's already on file. Dropshipping, you have to create a website that you have to drive your own traffic to, and it's illegal to dropship on Amazon. Your account will be shut down and banned if you try and dropship because customers will open up the box and then it literally, sometimes people will dropship from Walmart or whatever. They open the box and there's a Walmart receipt in there for $9 and the person just paid $20 for the product on Amazon, and then they call Amazon and say, why was this Walmart receipt in the box? And then your account's gone. So dropshipping is not available and legal on Amazon, and you won't get the benefit of Prime 2-day shipping to your customer if you don't buy the product up front and ship it into the warehouse. And you have to do your due diligence with the product up front. With dropshipping, you can make a bunch of random listings, which is kind of cool. There's no telling if it's going to sell. And there's just more steps in it with dropshipping. And usually you're spending a lot on external ads, Instagram, Facebook, Google ads to go to your website that nobody knows about to try and buy your product there. True. TikTok Shop is pretty cool. Again, you can still drop ship on TikTok Shop, which
actually you're not supposed to. Some people can do it. There are ways around it, but they do want you to have inventory in the US so that you could have fast shipping.
This is the same thing with drop shipping. Look, okay, your suppliers overseas, sometimes you get suppliers in the US, but you're paying higher prices for the product in that case. And then if you buy it from overseas, it's like your customer's waiting 3 weeks to like a month, or maybe faster shipping, air shipping is a week, but you're kind of paying for that. And you have to pay for every unit shipped out one by one. And who's to say, like, instead of you having a bulk order that's all there ready to go, you're shipping units one by one. So there's more chances for logistical errors to come up at the same time versus you ship in the whole batch of units. It's ready to go. If your ship syncs with all your units, then Alibaba will reimburse you as long as you purchase the product through trade assurance. If Amazon damages your units in their warehouse, they reimburse you. Yeah, I mean, TikTok Shop, you can't sell, I mean, you can sell higher ticket items, but it's very unlikely someone scrolling on TikTok is just going to say, oh yeah, I'm going to buy this $300-$400 item right now. It's more so for like little plushies, $20, $30, $50, maybe up to like $70, $80, $100. But per unit, you know, that's pushing it. I mean, you just think of the marketplace where it's at. And I don't know, there's a little less risk with that, less passive type operation. Even if you, like, a lot of drop shippers will have to probably get a third-party logistics center, like a place to store their inventory. So they order from their supplier and then it's shipped and it's in the US so it can get the faster shipping. Then they're paying for other storage fees. Maybe they have a couple VAs that they had to hire to, fulfill the orders, tell the supplier every time a shipment's in, ship to this address. I wanted the least moving parts. I didn't want to have to hire anyone, and I wanted the highest profit. So I stuck with FBA.
You heard it here first. I will say, as someone who has a background as the president of ZenDrop, a lot of that is very accurate, and other things we'd save for a conversation for you to have with the dropshipper on camera.
I'm down. Honestly, I don't know how long we've been talking. There's more points that I could have made.
Yeah, I'm not here to have a debate. It's okay. And finally, is there any closing statement that you would like to make and anything you would like to promote?
Well, yeah, anyone that's out there on the fence looking to do this and you are a high performer in your job and you're really looking for another thing that could start as like a side income stream that could literally replace your income, really look into Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon. Think about what I'm talking about, specifically selling higher priced items, bundling, creating the no-brainer offer. It really sets you up in a place where you'll see that it just makes sense. And you'll see that at least $50, if you're at $50 or $100 profit per sale, you don't need that many sales, and you see the numbers your competitors are doing, should be able to get a piece of that pie. And if most people are doing 500 sales a month and you're making $100 profit per sale, you make 100 sales per month at $100, that's $10,000 in profit, 1/5 of what the average seller's doing. So it's very doable. It's very possible. As far as something that I'd like to offer you guys is just, take a look. I don't know if there's a link and go into kind of my video where I explain a little bit more on what FBA is, how I can teach it to you. We can maybe put a link here or something, and you can go through and answer a couple questions and see if this is really for you. And then I can take you on with a one-on-one free call and like actually dive in and see where you're at and see if this really is for you. The last thing I would say is, just to stay up to date day to day with the travels and more of what I'm doing with Amazon FBA, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Luke W. It's just Luke W. And then on Instagram, Luke_Wechelberger. If you just do Luke_WECHSELBERGER, you'll find it. Yeah, that's really it. Just like get off the fence and do it. If you're already watching this video, you're already in a ballpark to like see what business models out there. I'm not saying you have to do Amazon. If you're in another boat out here, just do affiliate marketing. You don't have to buy product. You don't have to buy inventory.
Do something.
Do something.
Do something.
Yeah, that's about it, man.
All right, Luke, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much.